So let's go into this next question. Is this going to be like 2008? Okay. And the KCM research team is phenomenal in pulling together research to help draw distinctions between markets. And so what we did is we took data points comparing 2008 to today, and we said, okay, how is the market different? And I want to hop into those and talk about this and start with appreciation. So this graph represents annual home price appreciation, the 6 years leading up to 2008 to, on the right, the 6 years leading up to today. And just visually, when you look at it, you can see a difference. You can see a difference in the appreciation leading up to 2008 than what we have in appreciation today. And while we've had appreciation the last 6 years and prices have been improving and climbing, we don't see it to the degree we had in 2008, which I would say we have in that case runaway appreciation. And when I say runaway appreciation, I think of an old Western movie on a runaway train. And what we know when a runaway train happens, nothing good's going to come of that. We know what happens there, and we know a crash is coming. And runaway appreciation led to a lot of the issues that we had in 2008. But what do we see today? The highest level of appreciation in 2017 is not equal to the lowest level in 2001. And while we've seen appreciation, certainly we haven't seen that to the degree we saw it back in 2008. So a key piece of information about appreciation when we compare those two markets and when we talk to our clients. The next piece that we want to look at is mortgage credit availability. So think about this. How easy is it to get a loan? We use the Mortgage Credit Availability Index. It's published monthly by the Mortgage Bankers Association. And the simple way to think about this is the higher the index, the easier it is to get a loan. And what can you see on the left side? You see the housing bubble and how high that index was. And then what we know is we had this pendulum swing in our business where it became harder to qualify for a home loan. Guidelines got tighter. Self-employed borrowers had a tougher time buying a home. Many things there happened that even in some cases, people that should be able to buy a home weren't able to, and credit got constricted. And we've seen that largely hold since then. And it's easy to say just visually here that we're nowhere near where we were the housing bubble and leading into the housing bubble with a regard to credit availability. And even if you notice here on the right side, we're seeing a little dip there where credit's even being constricted further in the mortgage business. And certainly that's going to vary from lender to lender and situation by situation. But suffice it to say that lenders are going, okay, we may get a little bit stricter on who we lend to today. But the question out there is, hey, I've heard that it's become just as easy to get a loan as what it was, leading up to 2008. And you can use this to tell that story. The next slide I want to hop into, it really tells a story, and it's inventory. And this shows the months of inventory for sale across the country leading up to 2008 and then leading up to today. And again, I'll go back to what I said as we kind of kick this call off. The biggest issue we started this year with is thinking inventory is going to be our challenge this year. And what do we know about the market that we saw in 2008? We had an oversupply of homes on the market. If we use this neutral market or balanced market of 6 to 7 months, we had close to 10 or 11 months, depending on that time frame and where you see the graph at, in literally an oversupply of homes for the number of people that wanted to buy them. And what do we know about today? And even the last several years is that undersupply has been a challenge for us. And coming into this crisis, nationally, we had about 3.1 months of inventory available for folks that want to buy homes. And that's large. That's going to vary from price point to region of the country and area that you're in. But suffice it to say, across the country, we're in a very different situation with regard to inventory today than where we were leading up to 2008. And like appreciation, oversupply led to a lot of the issues that we faced in the housing crash. And so this picture, when you put it out there, it's easy to see the differences between 2008 to today. The next piece that I want to cover is total home equity cashed out. And so think about this as cash out refinances. And these are in billions. And on the left, you see the 3 years leading up to 2008. And on the right, the 3 years leading up to today. In the 3 years leading up to 2008, there were $824 billion done as cash out refis across this country. Really, at that time, people using their homes as ATMs, financing lifestyle, harvesting equity from their homes, putting it into then repositioning it into depreciating assets, buying, boats, cars, things like that, going on vacations, financing lifestyle, thinking this will never end. And you look at the 3 years leading up to today, and here's an interesting just visual that you can look at here. The total cash out refinances in the 3 years leading up to today, 232 billion, is a fraction of the number leading up to 2008, and not even equal to 1 year of 2005, 6, or 7. That's shocking. I think it speaks directly to a couple of things. One, how consumers are handling equity in their homes today. And two, I think it's safe to say there were a lot of lessons learned in 2008 that people said, I don't want to go through that again. I want to handle the equity in my home differently. And while cash out refinances are happening, I think they're happening in smart ways, leveraging money in their homes to start a business, maybe to send a child to school. And while we see that happening, it's not happening to the degree it happened as we headed into 2008.